Same $10,000. Same 3 Vanguard funds. Build the portfolio one way, and 30 years from now, it's worth $173,000. Build it the other way, same money, same 3 funds, and it's worth over $500,000. So the second one's the winner, right? Hold that thought, because by the end of this video, you might not pick the bigger one. Here's what I'm going to show you. The 3 best index funds Vanguard offers. 1 for income, 1 for growth, 1 for the rest of the world. Then 2 completely different ways to combine them. And the one mistake that can make the bigger portfolio the worst choice in retirement. I'm keeping score the whole way. 2 portfolios, head to head. And we settle it at the end. Every portfolio worth building has 3 jobs to handle. It needs income, money paid to you. It needs growth to actually build wealth. And it needs exposure outside the United States, so your whole future doesn't ride on one country. 3 jobs. And Vanguard has 1 fund that does each one better than almost anything else out there. Quick note before we get into them. An index fund is just a basket of stocks that follows a set rule. There's no manager guessing which companies will win. The fund simply owns everything in the index it tracks. That's why these cost almost nothing to own, and why they quietly beat most professional investors over time. Job 1 is income. This is VYM, Vanguard's High Dividend Yield Fund. It holds over 600 companies that pay above-average dividends. Names like Broadcom, JP Morgan, Exxon, Johnson & Johnson. And quick explainer here, because it matters for the whole video. A dividend is simply a slice of a company's profit, paid out to you in cash, usually every 3 months, just for owning the stock. The yield is how much that adds up to in a year as a percentage of what you put in. So a 2% yield means roughly $200 a year for every $10,000 you invest. Now, notice something about VYM. Its biggest 10 holdings are only about 25% of the fund. It's spread wide, and it's built to be steady. It pays a 2.21% dividend, and it costs you just 4 cents a year for every $100 you put in. The trade-off is that it won't shoot the lights out on growth. But remember this fund, because there's one number attached to it that's going to matter a lot later. Job 2 is growth. This is VUG, Vanguard's Growth Fund. And this is the engine. It is also incredibly concentrated. Its top 10 holdings are almost 65% of the entire fund. Nvidia alone is 13%. Apple is 11%. Microsoft is nearly 9%. Over half the fund is technology. And the returns show it. Up 47% in 2023. Up 40% in 2020. It barely pays a dividend, just 0.37%, because these companies pour their profits back into growing instead of paying shareholders. But the catch is the flip side of all that power. Look at 2022, when this fund lost 1/3 of its value in a single year. Job 3 is everything outside America. This is VXUS, Vanguard's Total International Fund. It holds over 7,000 stocks across the entire planet. Taiwan Semiconductor, Samsung, ASML, Tencent. And here's the part nobody expects. Most people think international is the boring, low-return slot, but VXUS quietly pays a 2.66% dividend, higher than the so-called high dividend fund. And after years of lagging behind the US, it jumped over 32% in 2025. It's the cheap insurance policy that just woke up. So, those are the 3 funds. But here's what almost everyone gets wrong. Picking the funds isn't the decision. The decision is how much of each one you own. The same 3 funds, weighted 2 different ways, give you 2 completely different futures. One pays you, the other grows. Let me show you both with real numbers. But before I show you a single number, here's exactly how I'm calculating all of this, so you know it isn't made up. I'm starting with a one-time investment of $10,000. No extra money added along the way, just that deposit left alone to grow. For each fund's growth rate, I'm using its actual average annual return over the last 11 years, from 2015 through 2025. Real published performance, not a guess. I'm assuming every dividend the funds pay gets automatically reinvested, used to buy more shares, because that's what makes the money truly snowball. And to get each portfolio's overall return, I'm simply blending the three funds together based on how much of each one you hold. One thing to keep in mind the whole way through, these are projections, not promises. The market never moves in a clean straight line. Some years soar, some crash, as you're about to see. The long-run averages are real, but the actual ride is always bumpier. First, the income build. 50% goes into the International Fund, VXUS, because, remember, it's the highest payer of the three. 30% goes into VYM for steady dividends, and 20% into VUG, just enough growth to keep it moving. Blended together, this portfolio grows about 10% a year and yields just over 2%. So here's $10,000 in it. After 1 year, $11,000. After 10 years, almost $26,000. After 20 years, $66,000. And after 30 years, $173,000. The reason it speeds up like that is compounding. Your gains start earning gains of their own, and reinvested dividends buy more shares that pay even more dividends. It crawls at first. Then it snowballs. And at 30 years, living on the dividends alone, without ever selling a single share, this portfolio pays you about $300 a month for the rest of your life. Or, if you draw it down at a safe 4% a year, around $575 a month. Now flip it. 70% goes into VUG, the growth engine, 20% into VYM, and 10% into international. This portfolio grows about 14% a year, but it barely pays a dividend, under 1%. Same $10,000. Year 1, $11,004. But watch what happens later, once compounding really takes hold. By year 10, it's already at $37,000. By year 20, $138,000. And by year 30, $515,000. Nearly 3 times the income portfolio. On dividends alone, it pays about $415 a month, and at a 4% withdrawal, over $1,700 a month. So, bigger account, bigger paycheck. Case closed? Not so fast, because on paper, growth wins everything. Bigger account, bigger income. If all you're doing is maximizing the final number, the growth portfolio is the answer. Full stop. But there's a second story the chart doesn't show. Go back to 2022. The growth portfolio dropped almost 25% in a single year, and the growth fund alone lost a third of its value. The income portfolio? Down under 15%. And its main dividend fund barely moved. Less than 0.5%. Now, here's why that matters. The growth investor living off that account has to sell shares to pay the bills. And selling shares in a year like 2022 means locking in your losses at the worst possible moment, permanently shrinking the account you're trying to live on. They call it sequence of returns risk. And it's the single biggest reason people who retire with big accounts can still run out of money. The income investor never has that problem because they never sell. The dividends just keep landing in good years and bad. Quick note on that 4% number, by the way. It's a well-known retirement rule of thumb. The idea that you can safely pull about 4% of your savings out each year without running out of money over a long retirement. So which portfolio wins? If you've got decades ahead of you and you can stomach watching a third of your money vanish in a bad year. Growth builds more wealth. If you're closer to needing the money and you want a paycheck that shows up no matter what the market does. Income wins. Same 3 funds. 2 completely different bets. And one last thing I owe you before you go. These projections assume each fund keeps repeating its returns from the last decade. That decade was an unusually strong run for U.S. technology, so that 14% on the growth side almost certainly will not hold for 30 straight years. And neither portfolio will grow in that smooth, perfect curve. Real long-term numbers are likely closer to 9 or 10%. The shape of the lesson doesn't change. The trade-off between income and growth is real. But treat the exact dollar figures as illustrations, not predictions. And none of this is financial advice. It's a starting point for your own research. So now it's your call. Are you team income, slow, steady, pays you forever? Or team growth, bigger upside, bigger stomach required? Drop income or growth in the comments and let's see which way this channel leans. While you're down there, hit that like button. It genuinely tells YouTube to push this to more people who are trying to build real wealth. And if you want to actually retire on these funds instead of just watching videos about them, subscribe, because that's exactly what we break down here every single week. Quick disclaimer, this video is for educational and informational purposes only. The numbers are based on historical data and projections. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results, and you should always do your own research and talk to a qualified financial professional before making any investment decision.